The guy's special. I've been in this game my whole life. I've never seen anything like him.
This guy has never lost a round. 13 fights, 13 wins, most ending in brutal fashion. Khamzat Chimaev has steamrolled every elite fighter put in front of him. Former champions, title contenders, legends of the sport. There's only one man on earth who gives him nightmares. And that man trains in the same gym. Islam Makhachev, the quiet assassin from Dagestan who possesses the one skill set that turns Khamzat's greatest strength into his greatest weakness. This is the technical breakdown that explains why the most dangerous man in the UFC has met his match. Two warriors from the same war-torn region of Russia, brothers in arms, training partners, best friends. But when the cage door closes, one fighting style reigns supreme over all others. October 2020, UFC Fight Island. An unknown Chechen refugee steps into the octagon and does something that shouldn't be possible. He absorbs just one significant strike across 2 fights in 10 days. Gerald Meerschaert, a crafty veteran with 13 submission wins, gets knocked unconscious by a single right hand in 17 seconds. But this wasn't just a knockout. This was the moment the UFC realized they had a problem. Khamzat wasn't just good, he was different. He was bringing a violence that elite fighters couldn't process. Dana White called him the most violent, savage fighter he'd ever seen. In his first 4 UFC fights, Khamzat absorbed exactly 2 significant strikes total. 2 against elite competition. That's not fighting, that's systematic destruction. Li Jingliang, a knockout artist with dynamite in his hands, got picked up like a child and carried across the octagon while Khamzat smiled at Dana White. Kamaru Usman, arguably the greatest welterweight of all time, couldn't solve the Khamzat puzzle for 3 rounds. The pattern was clear. Nobody could match his combination of devastating power, elite wrestling, and psychological warfare. But there was one man watching these performances who wasn't impressed. One man who saw exactly how to break the code. While Khamzat was demolishing opponents with raw aggression, Islam Makhachev was perfecting something far more dangerous: patient precision. The disciple of Khabib Nurmagomedov had turned submission grappling into a chess match where he always won. Coach Firas Zahabi analyzed Islam's grappling advantage. He doesn't just submit people, he programs them. Every takedown, every position change, every grip adjustment is building toward an inevitable conclusion. The opponent knows what's coming, but can't stop it. Islam's rear choke success rate is 73% once he secures back control. His takedown accuracy against elite competition sits at 89%. These aren't just numbers. They're death sentences disguised as statistics. But here's what makes Islam truly dangerous. He's patient enough to wait for perfect opportunities.
But Makhachev, I'm going to tell you, somebody was telling me, who do you think's a better wrestler? Was it Makhachev or was it Khabib? And I think Makhachev is a better grappler on it.
While Khamzat attacks like a hurricane, Islam operates like rising water, slow, methodical, and absolutely inescapable. Here's the secret that keeps Khamzat awake at night. His greatest weapon becomes his greatest weakness against Islam Makhachev. Khamzat's devastating takedowns rely on explosive entries and overwhelming pressure. But Islam's takedown defense isn't about stopping the takedown. It's about controlling what happens after. When Khamzat shoots, Islam doesn't sprawl. He accepts the takedown and immediately begins hunting for the submission. Javier Mendez, their shared coach, revealed the terrifying truth. In training, Islam submits Khamzat regularly. Khamzat's aggression works against everyone else, but Islam turns that energy against him. The harder Khamzat pushes, the tighter Islam's submissions become. Picture this: Khamzat secures a takedown, expecting to unleash his ground and pound fury. Instead, Islam's legs wrap around his neck like a python. The harder Khamzat struggles, the deeper the choke sinks in. This is why Islam Makhachev is Khamzat's nightmare scenario. But the technical advantage is only half the story. The real weapon Islam possesses is psychological. He's the only fighter who's never shown fear of Khamzat Chimaev. Every fighter who enters the cage with Khamzat carries the same thought: this man might actually hurt me permanently. Islam enters with a different thought: this man is about to tap out. Behind closed doors at American Kickboxing Academy, Islam has been solving the Khamzat puzzle for years. Every rolling session, every training camp, every sparring round, has been preparation for a fight that might never happen, but could define both their legacies. Khamzat knows this. It's why he's never called out Islam despite calling out everyone else. It's why their friendship exists in a space where respect trumps ambition. Because deep down, the most dangerous man in the UFC knows he's found his equal. So here's the answer to our original question. Why does Khamzat Chimaev destroy everyone except Islam Makhachev? Because while everyone else tries to survive Khamzat's storm, Islam Makhachev has been designing the perfect shelter. His submission grappling doesn't just counter Khamzat's wrestling, it weaponizes it. His patience doesn't just neutralize Khamzat's aggression, it transforms it into fuel for victory. Two undefeated monsters, two different paths to dominance. One technical matchup that could rewrite the history of mixed martial arts. The most violent fighter in the world versus the most patient assassin ever created. If this fight ever happens, we won't just witness a battle between training partners. We'll witness the collision of two perfect fighting philosophies, where only one can prove supremacy. The question isn't who would win, it's whether Khamzat could solve a puzzle that Islam has been perfecting his entire career.